Hello, all of you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Data Anomaly Hunter's Scar, Season 1, Episode 6, Friend or Foe. This is our Digimon tabletop RPG campaign being run with our custom Scar system, or Stories and Creatures in Alternate Realities. This system is in open playtest and available for you all to go check out either on itch.io or on our Discord. Please go take a look at it, let us know what you think. And for now, let's go ahead and get started with introductions, beginning with Zerda.
I am the storyteller for today, and we're going to be finding some interesting mysteries and unraveling today. So I'm looking forward to see how smart people can come up with things today, like me trying to come up with words.
Well, that implies
On to you, Arcus. I am plenty smart.
I'm Gimund, and I'm playing Arcus, the hyperactive Harrismon, who is an electric basic type. Onto the Asher.
That is all. Oh, I guess I should do more. Hi, everybody. I am Ather, being played by them. I am God of Death, Lord of Evil, Mastermind of Traps, and bringer of all horrible things to everybody. Mahaha! Off to you, Jace.
Hello, I am Drunk Dragonair, and tonight I'll be playing Jace Forger, the Black Gillimon X, who is Shadow Mythic type, and my voice is a little weird, so you're going to be hearing this a lot. Mahaha, or something. Go ahead, Raharu.
Hello everybody, I am Raharu and I'll be playing Kotora, the mythic fire type Gabumon. And to you, Tal.
Hello, I am Taldirson. I will be playing Riv, the mythic water type Vorphamon, and also a player of the game of Sudoku.
It is not a game. It is a way of life.
Wow.
I am confused.
Alright, go for the recap, Era.
Alright.
You can use the one from Discord. You can also use the one from Discord as well.
Well, if I remember correctly, last time on this show, that brain decided to forget the name of Raijin tipped.
Raijin! Thank you so much for that tip. Thank you for supporting the channel. That is the first 2 tiers of the tip goal completed. Carry on.
I'm just waiting to make sure there aren't more, because normally this is when they all flood in.
This is true.
It's a rough time in Christmas time.
That is also true.
No mas? Last
Yes,
time
that tip goal is concerning.
on Data Anomaly Hunters, we were in the city continuing our investigation after meeting up with the camera guy. Called it.
Pretty funny, though.
Gimund did that on
Thank you
purpose.
for the tip, Gimund. That is the 3rd tier of the tip goal completed. And also, while the full goal is 50, we're kind of in a desperate spot for rent, so if you guys can go over, it would be hugely appreciated. And yes, I also heard Dad Anomaly.
Well, I am a dad and an anomaly, so anomaly.
The Dominee.
Phenomena. Da 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 da.
Mana, do.
Before we get any more off track, we just met up with the cameraman by the stage. We began our investigation, finding out that yes, indeed, there have been many instances across town. I do believe in the previous session before that is when we went to the museum to look at the statues.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
After spending some time talking with him, we ended up going back to his room to look at pictures and go through the bar a little bit that we found out is mysteriously not as damaged in the same way that some others had been. very, very, very suspicious, or as the kids say nowadays, sus. The group did split up while half the party went out back to find a very noxious smell in the back. It turns out our local cameraman may have been bringing out the chemicals out back and dumping in the local dumpster, which would hide the tracks of anybody else doing a similar thing. It seems that there might have been a couple of other camera people here that recently left town, one of which is a little bit more sus than others. We're going to be following him out of town shortly. In the meantime, Jay sat at the bar and had a drink and found out nothing, unfortunately. Turns out this bartender has been extremely busy and hasn't exactly had time to watch whether or not people have been going up and down the stairs. The cameraman is still confident that, unfortunately, that bartender will be able to watch the stairs and watch his room. Hopefully, he is not wrong. Thankfully enough, we also did the smart thing of not having our picture taken. After some discussion and looking over everything, we decided it was definitely...
Merle_2009 tipped $20.
Thank you for that tip, Merle. That is the tip goal fully completed.
We decided that it might behoove us to go ahead and investigate other inns to see whether or not they have the same damages. Much to our not surprise, it turns out that other inns had varying levels of damages that were completely different than the one that we were at. After checking a couple of places, we found one that was particularly hard on business right now, and we ended up buying dinner there, as well as a few drinks in a room after Jace got a little drunk. We did send Asher out to go ahead and follow the cameraman back to his room because we are suspicious of him, make sure he didn't get attacked, or did anything nefarious while he was out. Afterwards, we had to send another individual to go get Asher, because unfortunately we forgot to tell him to come back afterwards. Did I miss anything?
Just the poor Shellmon without his shell.
The barkeep at the bar that we're staying at is missing his shell. The shellman without a shell.
Nope, just that we, are spending the night there currently and getting ready to leave in the morning.
Yeah, if I remember, we're heading east.
Exactly.
So remember to clear out or do the nightly rest things. This is a chance for people to level up too.
Spend XP and all.
Spend your XP.
Oh, and for after session, I should be having a small in Discord. You should see a small little recap of some accomplishments for the session.
Truly, this is the dankest dungeon.
Raharu95 tipped $5.
Thank you so much for that tip, Raharu. I really appreciate all of your support.
Welcome.
Thank you for waiting until I was done with recap. I was losing my place again.
Welcome.
Okay, and I'll say, yes, if there's any sort of stats, any sort of adjustments need to be, attributes possible, but other stats or anything to adjust, now would be the time to do it.
Yeah.
And it will be considered a full
That's
rest of
all,
everything.
folks.
The Wonder Meal is back.
Oh no. Chat wants me to die quicker from this disease.
The Wonder Meal is a perfectly nutritious bar of food that will keep you surviving.
Don't worry. You can be 100% sure that at the very least it won't have chicken in it, because that means it would actually have something.
The one time that something is safe, though you will still starve on it.
And I will say, y'all did end the session pretty much at the end of the night, so I will actually start it with the morning. So you were offered free food in the morning due to Jace's considerate amount of tipping.
Like, oh, this is the second time already in this campaign that we have excessively given money to people.
I gave you 20 bytes to spend. Or 20, it was, yeah.
Yeah, those bytes.
Yeah, but I gave you 20 bytes to spend. We have one shovel and a lot of free stuff given to other people.
We have some other things.
I have a shovel.
Yeah, I mean, How else would Arcus have no less than 2 beds to set up every night?
But you will get, everyone will eventually find their way awake, and you will get free food downstairs provided by the showman. Is usually for most inns it is customary to have food, though usually paid. You guys have Jace has paid more than enough. Though the food will be heavily themed around fish and kind of very much themed around fish for breakfast.
That gives Asher the choice of fish or green things.
Fishy, fishy.
And some hush puppies.
Asher's filling up on hush puppies.
See, they work.
You completely underestimate the power of my son's mouth. He can talk and eat at the same time. I've seen it.
So I'm very certain that one guy is really definitely suspicious and probably the one behind all of this.
Asher, how'd you get a hush puppy in your nose? Ew.
Kotora is just shaking his head. Okay, so repeat that again.
I'm fairly certain that the one that where the cameraman guy is the one that behind the whole thing.
Okay, I understood half of that. So, well,
You just see them keeping.
I said that the
keeping
cameraman, the cameraman thing is they're. I'm fairly certain that they are doing something weird.
you mean Ragiri? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe. I mean, I don't particularly think he's all that suspicious at the moment, but I'm not ruling him out on him being in cahoots with the others. At the very least, if nothing else, he's giving us leads to where the others may be, because they are more suspicious than he is.
This is why we agreed to bring him with us, though, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's probably for the best that we keep an eye on him.
Yeah, because
And yet you sent somebody to bring me back instead of letting me stay over there and keep an eye on him.
He'll be at his hotel room. It's fine.
He's not under like permanent surveillance. Like
it
isn't like he's.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I asked you just the other night if you wanted to stay there all night. You could have stayed there if you wanted to, but you didn't want to. So
these hush puppies are very good.
They are. No, Kotora is taking a bite out of one. I mean,
Which I definitely knew that these were already going to be here because God of Death. Maha!
So.
Oh.
Yeah, what Kotora is going to look at Jace for a moment and just ask, can I ask what is this whole thing with the God of Death that he keeps going on about?
So when he was a lot younger, we were playing Digifinder. He's got this GM friend, a Wizardmon, that we met along the way. And
oh yeah, Game Master.
Yes, Game Master. Let him play a cleric of the God of Death, except made him the God of Death. And partway through the story, he was revealed as the God of Death. And, well, that kind of stuck in his head a little bit.
I see. Intriguing.
He says it with such conviction nowadays that I'm almost inclined to believe it.
Hmm.
Because it is true. I saw it in a dream.
You have a very vivid imagination, Asher.
Dream?
Yeah, stranger things have happened.
I had
Still,
wings.
bro.
I
Wings.
had big wings.
Hmm. Maybe one of your evolutions down the line have wings, if you will ever evolve.
One way or the other. Should we get going before y'all eat enough hush puppies to make sure that you're not walking anymore? Because you guys are really going at those.
Cut.
I like the sushi.
The fish is really nice. I like the salmon.
Well, I could eat here or eat sushi all day. Food baby is forming. And
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to stop feeding us.
I will say, as Shiru, the Shellmon, does come over to your table to kind of pick up, they actually look over to you, Jace, and as they're kind of clearing up some of the table, they say, you said you guys were from the data anomaly hunters, right? From the town?
Yeah.
He kind of gives you a very broad, very big smile to you, Jace. Says, if it's okay, I would like to show you something. But it would just be you, Jace, right? You're the one that was helping me a lot last night.
Jace checks his wallet and goes, "Oh, so I did."
Asher
I
is
want to show you
squinting at
something.
him.
I guess. Do you guys mind, I guess?
I don't.
I mean, I don't really know why it's got to be, like, private and secret or anything, but, like, if he wants it to be, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
It'd be
understand either.
It'd be mighty respectful. It's, something close to us innkeepers.
I see. Okay, fair enough. Even
Well,
in these harsh times, people need their secrets. So
he'll kind of gesture and says, I can show you in the kitchen in the back if you don't mind.
Jeez,
And
please
he'll
roll
gesture over to the
1d10.
kitchen.
Yep.
What are you gambling?
Oof, -1.
He gets a -1 dice on his next roll.
ah,
Oof.
He'll after kind of taking up some of the plates, he won't take the plates back to the kitchen, but he'll kind of go back to the kitchen and kind of gesture over whenever you're ready.
Jace will grab some of the mess while he goes back. His minds will be slightly helpful.
Aren't you going to excuse the table again?
Did I hit it with my tail again?
No, last night you said, "Excuse me, ma'am," to the table.
Well, excuse me, ma'am.
Kotora just chuckles at that.
Talking to tables. I need to stop drinking. Will going back.
The showman will take Jace back to the back kitchen. Are you trying to stealth?
Yes, Asher is trying to stealth.
The dice are saying
That is
maybe.
such a weird roll.
I mean, it's
very
still a
true
3.
combo roll. Yeah, it's still
let you
above average.
I'll let you roll a perception, Jace, as well. To see them trying to do this. Also, that is a percentile die. God damn.
Jace's magical ability to see when younger people are doing dumb shit.
Just the ones and tens so far. God
Don't
dang.
make
It's
me
a tr-
make
it's-
that a
it's-
specialty. It'd be hilarious.
Do not.
Well, I mean, considering the results when you also caught Riv doing dumb stuff.
Yeah,
You would notice Asher following along, but the Shelma would not at all.
You know, this is weird and suspicious. I will allow him to follow because, you know, this is kind of weird and suspicious.
As he takes you back to the kitchen, he starts to recount a story to you. He says, back whenever it used to be more of the Wild West around here, and you kind of see him, but he's talking while also kind of putting away the dishes, just doing regular kitchen chores. He's kind of talking to you. We used to have a lot more crime around these towns, and before the big city kind of made itself more known and prevalent, a lot of innkeepers around here had to actually rely on themselves. So it's not the first time that, well, my family generation has been in this kind of trouble before. But it's definitely one I've never really experienced. And he'll go over to what looks to be like a hatch in the ground. Says all of us innkeepers here have our own little basements where we store a lot of the ingredients. But I want to show you something down there. And he says you're here to help me get the shell back and keep the town back right?
Well, that's the intent, yes.
We're gonna
I
have to put a
will
lot of faith in
follow.
you, but I don't really have many other options. If the things keep going like this, my savings are gonna dry up before I'm able to really keep the business going. It's been in my generational family for so long. And he'll go down this like ladder to what you can only imagine would be a storeroom for the inn. The kitchen is not big enough to hold an entire inn's food capacity.
Yep. A cellar.
Exactly. He's asking you to follow him to the cellar.
He'll go down.
And says, back in the old days, whenever it was a lot more crime ridden, we didn't really have very many means for protection, so we had our cellar here, and he'll kind of gesture around the cellar. If you can get me back my shell, I want to show you a secret here. I want to give you something if you can actually get back the shell and get this town back and right.
Well, you can show it to me, but I don't necessarily need anything, you realize, right?
You kind of see him give a soft smile and a little bit of chuckle. Well, I'll show you first. And you see him go over to one of the walls. And it doesn't really it looks very confusing from just seeing it, as it seems like he's just kind of rubbing up against the walls a little bit with his hands. But after a bit, you see him push in what looks to be a regularly looking brick on the wall. And it opens up a kind of like a secret door into the wall. We had to hide our more precious materials in these secret cellars. All the inns in town have them. It's where we store most of our most prized possessions. Well, as many prized possessions as you can get for an inn. And he'll kind of gesture in a little bit as you see him walking in himself.
This is quite, what's the word for it? Complex?
Whenever you have raiders trying to store your carrots and onions, it's better to put the carrots and onions within easy view. The alcohol is the stuff that people really want.
Yeah, understandable, I guess.
And you kind of see him. He goes in there in a second and brings out. You kind of see him hoisting a barrel from the outside. This right here is, well, one of the most fanciest brews I have in the inn. And I want you to put your initials on it. So if you can come back and get me my shell back, I want you to have this whole barrel. It's the most precious brew I have in my store.
Jason's gonna look at it. And he's gonna be like, you know, that's very kind. But I don't do this for rewards. I know my son might be upset for not accepting a reward. But look,
he kind of gestures. It's not. You can always tell people how good it tastes whenever you try it yourself. You can if, like I said, you'd be getting, if you got my shell back, it'd be saving an entire family's generational line. The least I can do is offer you some of the nicer, well, alcohol I have.
How about
It's
you?
more of a hope than anything.
How about you just wait until we come back, okay?
He kind of looks at the barrel. I mean, all I really have is hope at the moment. I feel like if you had, I don't know. He kind of looks at the barrel. I feel like if you had your initials on it, it might be worth more coming back. Something that you won't forget, you know?
I appreciate it, but it's fine. Wait until we get back, because if we don't succeed, we might just get information and send somebody else. We are kind of new at this.
He kind of gives he kind of nods in acceptance. Yeah. But if you don't make it, at least I'd have the initials of the heroes who tried. Kind of gives a soft chuckle to himself. But I can take it back if you'd like. It means a lot to have the shell back and to have the business. I'd hate to have to move into the city.
Just bide your time. As I said, I do appreciate it. It's just, I don't feel comfortable taking something.
You wouldn't be able to take it until you get the shell back, but yeah, I would give it to you after you get the shell back. I'll hold it here for you. If you guys can get me my shell back, I'll let you keep the whole barrel and take it back to the big city. Maybe you can even tell people how good it tastes if you see around town.
If it
Only up
lasts
to
that
you,
long,
though.
we'll get there. But thank you.
You see him kind of jugging. He kind of takes the barrel and kind of puts it back in the cellar. You see him kind of move his hands around the wall before closing it up again. I can trust, like I said, I don't really have. Well, my entire family's generation is on the line with this place, so I'm entrusting a lot to you guys, and I know this city has been working on that data anomaly hunter, whatever, in the city, and they're supposed to be the best of the best good guys around, so it's kind of the biggest hope I have right now, so I don't mean to put pressure on you, but it'd mean a lot if you came back after all this. Maybe if you could remember Shellless Shellmon over in a shack somewhere. But I'd like to see you again and give that to you if you can find a way to return this town back to normal.
Jace is going to shrug and go look from some guy that's lost his entire town and livelihood to one that's about to. I'm not inclined to let that happen necessarily. To somebody else, that is.
You got
It's
it. And then
fine.
he kind of says, no, I'm not going to share that secret about that inn. It's really only for those trusted. It also acts as a defense if anything goes. If any kind of tries raiding the cellar, or anyone tries raiding the town, you have a safe spot there if you really need it. Consider my inn a home in case something happens in the city.
Understood. I'm gonna get back to my group, though.
Yeah. He kind of says, yeah, let's get back up there, and I'll give you some food for the road, and then you can be on. I wish you the best of luck. And you'll see him go back up the cellar door, gesturing up on the way.
He'll walk up. He's not gonna dawdle. He is going to make sure Asher is leaving, too.
Asher left ahead of them when he heard them talk about going back.
And after you come back up, he'll shut the hatch and kind of have a rudimentary lock in place for it for now, as he's not really having enough business to go down there frequently. So I'll lock it up for now. But you have a safe space there if anything happens to you or your friends. You guys may be new here, but you're still the heroes of the town so far, or at least the heroes that tried. So I have a lot of hope in you guys. You kind of see you can tell he definitely does have a tinge of almost desperation in his voice, and kind of that pleadingness. You can tell he's still trying to keep confident about it, but he definitely does have that air of plead to his voice. But he does eventually just you guys back and lets you be on your way.
Get back to the table, sit down. Alright, so, we ready, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, while you were gone, I went ahead and looked through my bag and made sure I had all the things I need.
I have it. I have everything ready. I have everything set up as well. We just gotta pick up
Alright, let's go do that.
You all make your way to the inn that Giri is staying at, the Flaming Mane. One of the few buildings, one of the few inns that seem to have mostly escaped the more collateral damage of the town as you make your way in. The business is less bustling this morning as an inn is mostly used to house people at night and send people off in the morning. So the crowd is a lot less than what it was whenever you came in the previous night, as most of the travelers have already either gone in or left for the day.
I'm glad to see that Arcus is doing Arcus things.
Adorable.
Alrighty.
I will say that you don't see Ragiri downstairs, but from anything you guess it'd probably be a safe bet, as you can see he was dedicated to his room.
Yeah, if Kotora doesn't see Ragiri waiting for them at the reception, he'll just go up to his room and knock on the door.
As you make your way up the stairs, you knock on Ragiri's door. After a few shuffles and clanks of various sounds, you see them open up the door. You see a backpack inside the room that seems to be laying on a chair. It seems to be mostly open, with one or two things kind of sticking out of it. Oh, yes, hi. I was just finishing packing for the trip for the day. I got my camera, and he kind of seems he's kind of looking distantly, as he's kind of talking to almost no one in particular, as he's kind of going through a checklist in his head out loud.
Do you also pack some food, because we don't know how long we're going to be out there without being able to resupply?
I can grab some food from downstairs. Yeah, I'll grab some food from downstairs on the way. I think he should probably have some good food from breakfast. Doesn't matter if we eat breakfast for lunch or dinner.
The group already ate breakfast, so if you want to eat some before we leave, feel free to.
I'll grab it on the go. It's all good. I'll grab it on the go.
Okay.
You kind of see him putting a few extra things in the bag before kind of tying it up a little bit and putting it over his shoulder. He still has his cape on him too as well, with that backpack laying on the outside of the cape. Let's go meet up with the others.
Yeah. Kotora gives a thumbs up and leads the way.
You are all either are you waiting for him outside or inside?
Inside?
And you're all standing around, all kind of sitting around one of the tables, as you see him bring down Ragiri with a backpack on, as he kind of looks to you all with an almost excited look about him.
All right, is everybody ready? We're sure we have everything with us.
Yeah.
Yep, I already checked my backpack.
Yep, I double check making sure everything was in mine as well.
Off we go then.
And Arcus starts doing the circles.
Don't trip over my tail.
Ooh, jump rope.
No. Fine.
They are fully fed and ready.
On to adventure.
As you head out, someone give me a percentile die.
What the heck?
I'll take a 91.
High five, Arcus. Let's go.
No more. I can offer you a 91. Take it or leave it.
Can I offer you a 91 in this trying time?
I'm.
That is so.
Is it the percentile die? No, that's it.
Yeah, it's a percentile die.
Are we supposed to be doing these individually?
Okay,
No,
so
I just
no.
asked for one. It was
You just
really-
asked for one. Me and Given rolled at the exact same time, and we both got the same number.
Okay,
it.
that's why I was confused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just curious to see what number I would get. 71.
The chances of 291s is like that is like so infinitely more unlikely than to get
Yeah.
like 220s.
Yeah.
It's by the way, it's 0.01% or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 1 in 10,000 or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think it is a 1 in 10,000. Okay, as you guys are heading east, you would go outside the east side. There's a north-south, and there's technically a north-south-east exit and entrance. However, the west is filled with a river. Just for a heads up, there is a river that kind of goes to the west where the boating services kind of end up leading. But you guys are going out the east side of town. And as you're going through the town, you do see the ocean, or the lake itself is a few decent miles out of town. There is one or two kind of smaller plots of land with a smaller home here and there as you're kind of making your way east. You do see that a lot of the smaller homes have been kind of eaten away due to the rains that came in from the east. As you look to the left and right, it's very much abandoned. The roofs seem to be either collapsed into the buildings or seem to have been almost like a vaporized from the top of the buildings along the way. Whatever was living there either didn't have the funds or didn't have the means to repair it at the moment. So you do see some of that damage as you're heading eastward, as well as some of the even finer things like the trees and some of the grass also seems to have been very misshapen. The trees are very, very much uglier than what you could imagine what should be a beautiful, beautiful tree with all the different limbs. It's almost like a skeleton with various patches missing and leaves that seem to be just almost completely missing from the tree in several areas. The tree in the middle itself still stands, but it is definitely seen better wear in its days.
All right. One thing Riv would like to check is to see if the assumed rate of degradation along the way, like by the different the different buildings that we're passing, is if it's consistent or if it is statistically notably different from what would be expected from the rains that happened in the town, or the effects of the rains in the town.
As you look
Basically,
around,
yeah.
give me. No, it's not. I don't think there's nature. Give me that. Not nature roll. I don't think nature exists.
We do have survival.
Survival. Give me a survival check. As you're kind of trying to understand the implications of the outer world here.
All right.
Take a bonus of 2 for me.
All right. 2 from Jace. Anyone else want to add on to this or no?
Oh yeah, I'll give you a teamwork.
Cool. Ooh, pretty meh. Only a 1.
A 1. Biology isn't exactly the strongest suit of yours when it comes to understanding. You can tell from the general, everything looks like it was essentially like, it looks like the area itself has been essentially washed over with what you know now to be that cloud of rain. It looks pretty much, the misshapen of the way the branches are, it looks to be about the same amount of degradation, but because it's rain, it's a lot more random, so you don't really see or pick up patterns exactly, but the general feeling, it looks like nothing has been exactly hit worse or better. It seems to be more so just, it is bad, but not really to any greater or lesser degree depending on where you look.
Riv will make a little hum and then go, yeah, maybe it's just really hard to tell, but interestingly, I don't think it's actually damaged much more or less compared to the town. Like from the rains, because I was trying to look to see how damaged and degraded the area was in comparison to the town to see if it was more or less or something, to see if the rains either, petered out by the time it got to the town at all, or if it gained in strength, but it looks pretty consistent, I think.
That's interesting, actually. You would think if at some point that the things would either increase in degradation or decrease, depending on when the rain began stopping.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uniform or anything, but it isn't notably different.
My assumption is that it's being controlled by someone, so nobody has a reason to pump it up or make it weaker as they're going out.
Well, yeah, but it's just important to try and figure out if that's the case right away or not.
That's true.
If they're smart, they'd wait until they're outside of town at least a fair bit of ways before, weakening it. But that's my assumption.
Hopefully we can find out some better information when we actually see the lake and all that.
And as you make your way east, it's a little bit of a trek. It's definitely not a heavy road. There is eventually you kind of get to at least for the first mile and a half, there is a decent road, though it does end up splitting into two different directions, but neither direction, as you do hear the Cameron, who's kind of right behind you guys following along. He says, "Oh yeah, those are the ways to the other towns, but the lake itself doesn't actually have a road to it. People don't really go by the lake anymore from what I've been in town and experienced, and well, I talked to a few, nobody really goes around there, especially after this whole, glitch thing happened, so," and kind of points over to the east. "We're gonna have to go off the road a little bit."
That's a little bit weird. I mean, it wouldn't if people were visiting there before it all, they would still have the trail there. It just maybe would be a little bit less, but why don't people visit this at all normally anyway?
He kind of looks. "Well, back whenever I was reporting from the town, that lake was actually used to be an old water filtration system for the town. But after we have some new technology and start importing more things from Kenzo, we stopped having to need for any sort of water filtration system, at least from the lake. So mostly it's just an abandoned filtration plant and a few shacks out there. Not really worth visiting. We had our beautiful ferry over to the west of town, so there's not really a need to have a big old lake when you have a ferry ride that you can go up and down all day. Mostly a relic of the past."
Huh, okay.
Interesting.
You do kind of see what looks to be what there is kind of what just the natural evolution of the ground itself. There is a very faint path, but it's nothing that seems like it has been heavily tracked. There's a few there even is an old kind of signpost leading that way, but the wood itself seems to not be very kept. And anything leading that direction, it does seem to be the correct direction, but it is very, very unkept for its ground purposes.
So basically, there are signs that there definitely used to be people that would come here semi-regularly, but now it definitely hasn't been like that for a while.
Yeah, this road would take you up to a few of the smaller villages, and he kind of points. The north side goes to a small village outside of town. I hear a few people stay there, but mostly they keep to themselves. And then he points to the south, and that south road will connect you straight back to Kenzo. And then he'll gesture on the off the beaten path and towards the east.
Okay, I kind of want to go look at the lake now, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Lead the way.
You all start making your way east. As you do, you still see a lot of that heavy degradation of the land itself. You don't see any sort of cracks or anything in the ground. There does seem to be just purely the rain itself that seems to be degrading the ground, but there doesn't seem to be any other landmarks, though the ground itself is very much... You could tell that it was once more overgrown, but a lot of the patches in the grass have now been kind of almost like it's like the dead grass a little bit. You kind of see where there is small little patches of what was once overgrown grass, now patches of little circles where you can imagine the rain may have poured down a little bit heavier over it. And after traveling for about another mile and a half, you would make your way over to where the lake is. You would see what looks to be a decently sized lake. Definitely nothing that's a big grand lake, but it's definitely about a decent set. Hold on a second. It's a decent sized lake, as you also see what looks to be at the very end. There seems to be a kind of larger building that you can imagine would probably be the filtration plant, as the only other building in the vicinity looks to be like a small shack, though both look pretty degraded.
Hey guys, we should definitely check out the buildings anyway, just in case, right?
Yes.
Explain.
I mean, is there something you're hoping to find?
Well, just because they're degraded, I mean, some of that one building's pretty big. There's nothing saying that someone couldn't have been staying in the bottom of it in case they actually had to be at the lake for a bit. It's just more in case, so that way we could say we actually checked it out. It would kind of be dumb if, we came all the way here and it turns out that there was something inside the filtration plant or something and we just didn't check.
I mean, okay.
I kind of agree with that. We might as well check it.
As long as it doesn't take too long. The longer that we're trailing somebody, the longer or the further ahead of us they get.
Well, yeah, but do we actually really even have, we haven't even ran into people, to walk past to ask to see if they've seen them. We just know they went in this general direction. And, maybe there'll even be something in there because, maybe they took cover in there overnight or something to show that they've been there.
Well, all right. Let's check it out.
And you can kind of see where he goes, yeah, maybe we can meet Kawa up here. If he's checking out this place too, he might have more information on the lake and maybe what's been going on around here.
A generous bestowal.
I know.
IDDoThings tipped $15. Tradition from the abyss.
Ido, thank you so much for that tip. If you are able to join on your phone, I'd be a-okay with that, Ido.
I think he lost power.
As far as
I
I
think
was
it's-
aware, it was just internet.
No, he said power.
Oh,
He
Wait,
lost
so-
power later.
Yeah, his
said
entire
his-
neighborhood lost power.
He says phone service isn't the greatest at the moment, but that's also okay if you want to also listen in live as well. We definitely can accommodate.
Yee.
And I will say, as you kind of go out to this, lake, like I said, you do see like I said, there is the large plant, and then there is the smaller shack. Which do you want to go to first?
I think Riv would opt for the just checking out the smaller shack first. Like, if it's close-ish. Like, if it's, like, really far away, not, like, on the other side of things. So, is it, like, close-ish, or is it, like, far away?
It's you see the plant itself is on the far end, and the shack is more on the closer end. So they're basically almost opposites of each other on the lake itself. It kind of looks almost like the shack itself kind of looks like maybe a visitor center of some sort, but it is very much not as stable as you can imagine it once was.
But it is, like, kind of, like, close and mostly on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, we should probably stop by that first, like, because it's literally on the way. Just as, like, a quick check. I don't think we should spend a lot of time with that place, but...
Okay. So Riv is going into the abandoned shack.
Kotora is following him, of course.
I'm staying outside.
Asher will stay outside, but he'll be
Arcus
close to the
wants to
door.
Arcus wants to explore. He's going in.
Asher will stay near the door, but and listen out.
Gotta watch our backs out here.
As you go inside the shack itself, you could tell the roof of it itself seems to be crudely patched up a little bit. Not enough to really be able to keep out very much, but especially with the rains, at least someone seems to have wanted to keep the shack slightly intact. Especially one part in particular seems to have more of a taken care of to it. And in that area underneath it, you would actually see what looks to be a smaller bedroll and a very rudimentary bedroll and a few different various items, more survival items, some rope, you can see what looks to be a open canister of some sort of food that's already been eaten.
All right. Did Rigiri come in with us?
Yeah, Gary came in with you all.
Hey, Rigiri, does this look like anything that you know Kawa had?
He kind of looks over it. This does look like, it kind of looks, I think that's one of the supplies from one of the inns in town. I think that's one of their to-go meals that they've created. It's a way to sell food without even having to prepare it immediately there. It's one of these new things they try to, well, he kind of looks over. Yeah, that one's over there, and he kind of like, yeah, this must be from the town. So whoever was buying this food must have bought it from the town. And he kind of pulls out one of the things from his backpack. See, and you can see he has a very similar kind of a tin ration kit itself that matches the one that's on the ground. This one was from the inn that I was staying at. It's one of the Agumon's meal kits.
Okay. Do they always sell the same kind of food, or is there, like, do they rotate it?
Well, especially for trying to keep stuff stable for a long journey, they mostly keep some of the same stuff that's going to be really stable. But they do have a few different variety packs, and he kind of pulls out like 2 more. 2 of them seem to be the exact same, but the other one seems to have a different like initials on it for what kind of food is inside.
All right.
He must have been getting these supplies from the town and bringing them here. I know he was investigating the lake. There must be something here if he's think it's worth staying overnight here.
But you are like fairly sure that this is Kawa's stuff.
Well, someone's staying out here. I don't know if it's Kawa, but someone is. I wouldn't be able to tell you who, but just by sniffing at it.
Riv is gonna lightly poke through things. I'll probably roll an investigation for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Riv is gonna lightly poke through things in order to try and see about how long this has been here, and if there's any signs of who it is. If there's maybe a name written on a tag or something to show ownership or whatever, like people do.
Yeah. No, Arcus, you can also do the same thing as well. You can see if you can combine. You can see if you can find each individual things. dice are definitely a little bit weird tonight. A lot
Yeah,
of
that's
10s and
average for
1s.
me.
Like how the 3 dice ended up being higher.
Yeah, well, that happens.
I'll say as you were looking through, you're kind of looking through the things. It seems mostly like a prepared ration type kit with various. It's kind of like what you'd imagine would be an explorer's kit. Anything that you'd imagine would be immediately useful doesn't really seem to be present. You just looking through the stuff, it seems like most of the stuff that has been used has all the stuff that's there seems to have been used as a sort of discarded means more so than anything actively needing. Though there is the rope there itself, you can tell that one of the ends as you're looking, as well as Arcus, you would kind of look at some of the more stuff in a finer detail, and you would see that the rope itself has been cut very cleanly along one of the ends, either to shorten the rope or to have to carry less at a time. It seems more like someone is just kind of sleeping out here more than making a home of it.
Seems like a temporary camp or sleeping area.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't really found anything that would actually show ownership, but, well, at least we could actually look at this and tell that this is at least fairly recent.
Yeah, you'd be able to take a look at everything. It looks recent enough. Like the scraps of like food that's left, just the bare scraps of food that's left in the pan isn't molded or anything. It's not super wilted like it's been aged for a long time. It does seem pretty recent. You would guess probably within about 3 days at best.
Maybe 2 to 3 days.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I think I'm gonna go tell the others about this. This seems kind of important. And Riv is going to go outside and inform the team members currently outside about the findings.
So somebody was here a couple days ago?
Yep. And they definitely got their supplies from the city.
I guess not too much of a surprise. Any indication of what they were doing here? Just camping.
No, it as far as we could tell, it was mostly just a temporary kind of setup. Didn't really have anything permanently, really. It was just kind of there. But no, Rigiri says that it's absolutely one of the local inns' takeouts. So it's definitely someone from Shashen.
Well, I guess we can't consider it too much of a surprise.
No, but it is nice to actually have confirmation.
Yeah. Well, you guys wanted to check out that building too. I point at the other building, right?
Yep.
How big is this building, by the way, Zerda?
As you look out to the building itself seems to be it's a very wide building. As you can kind of tell, it also seems to be at least a minimum of 2 stories high. Though there is kind of like the middle point, there is one point that's just a little bit higher than the rest. Maybe a 3rd story kind of lookout tower in a sense. But the building itself is very pretty decently sized as you were to look from left to right.
Well, that's going to take a while to explore.
Well, we better get started then.
All right, do we want guards outside, or should we just all go in this time?
I mean, if it's going to be a big place, it's probably best to have as many eyes as possible on it. Not that we should really, ignore things on potentially coming in from the outside, but I don't know, it's probably best if we have as many people looking as possible, so that way we spend the least amount of time.
All right.
So, should I consider this place a ruin?
Nah, it's not that old, and also, I don't think they want us to look at this place like how I think you and me would normally look through ruins.
Okay.
It would be really neat to find a ruin out here, though.
For now, we should probably just make it a quick cursory glance unless we see any signs or reason to believe there's more.
Yeah, just, make sure to check the various rooms at least a little bit.
Okay.
But you know, Arcus, you
Yeah?
could lead the way, Mr. Experienced Explorer.
Yeah! And he starts walking towards the the place.
Remember to make sure that we're behind you at all times and not to rush off too far ahead, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
As you make your way, there is at least several ways to enter the building itself. There is some big doors that look to be like something that you would have maybe a larger Digimon of some sort carry in or out things. Kind of like some hangar kind of bay doors in the middle of the uh, water processing plant, and there is some smaller doors on the ends. As you're kind of just looking at the outside of the building yourself, it does seem like there is a decent amount of size just from looking at from the outside. There, you can either go through the hangar doors type styles in the middle. There is a tinier door that seems to be off to the side, maybe where they would enter for maybe someone smaller would enter. And there's also the ones at either end of the plant. Would you like to explore the north side, south side, or middle?
We should probably start at one end and just work our way through, right, guys?
Yeah, that sounds like the best way to go about it.
So are the hangar doors closed or open?
They're closed at the moment, but you do see a little bit of erosion from it, similar to the fashion you've seen from it around. You'd imagine that wouldn't be too hard to probably get them open, but it would take a decent amount of strength to probably fully open them. So they're not falling off, but it would take a bit to actually get them open.
Do we need to break in?
Let's check the other places first.
Okay.
As you do see as you do kind of make your way closer to the building, you do see what looks to be a few rudimentary locks on it, but on the outside of the wall, you do just see a very pretty decently sized sign that just says, "Keep out for your own safety." You know, closed due to in use, and it just kind of has a small warning, more for personal safety than any kind of like threat. More so just saying that the building itself is no longer maintenanced and that it is unsafe to go inside due to no longer being maintenanced. You can also try breaking off the lock, breaking the door, or trying to pick the lock itself.
I mean, we can try picking the lock.
I mean, do you guys know how to do that?
Yes.
Okay then. I mean, that's probably a good place to start.
No, I do have a question. If somebody's been in here, wouldn't the locks already be tampered with?
Well, maybe they could have just locked it behind them, or they could have gotten in a different way. I mean, you know, the roof is pretty open, and people might have been able to fly. Like, just because the lock is here doesn't mean that there isn't a way inside. It's just this is kind of the first way that we really looked at it. So,
All right, well, let's see what we can do. Hey, Asher, come give me a hand, would you?
Sure thing.
I'm rolling 4 for subterfuge, unless how many you want to add?
I've only got 1 in subterfuge.
Riddles will add 1 in teamwork. So,
How are you helping them with this lockpick, Riv? Flavor-wise.
he'd probably try and use his aura of cold thing to try and make the lock just a little bit colder, so that way it contracts slightly, the metal.
He's trying to make the pins more stiff.
Not bad.
Also, you were able to successfully get the lock off the door itself. Decently enough. Actually, you're able to not only get the lock off, but you're able to actually keep it intact. That if you want to reuse the lock on the door, or for other purposes, you would be able to. Though without having the key, you would have to rely on lockpicking it every time to get it open, but at least you have a keyless, undamaged lock.
Oh man, this is a really cheap lock for something like this. You'd think they would, like, put a higher security lock on a building that's... Never mind.
You do see Rigiri kind of look over to you. Where did you learn how to do lockpicking and stuff? Is that something they teach over at that data place?
No, it's something I learned out in the wilderness when I was... Never mind. It's something I learned in my travels.
Probably something best not to ask about.
He kind of looks around. Well, I can always see if... Let's see, he's kind of scanning over the lake itself. I can see if Kawa comes back here. I can always let you guys know. If you want to guys go inside and check and see if he's out here, the last thing I want to do is for him to miss you guys. I can take a look at the water and everything. See if any of the water itself is glitched as well.
Let's see, Ido.
Lido.
It's Naito.
How do I sound?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Just a
Consider
little
you're on a
loud,
phone,
but
yes.
I can fix the loudness. Speak a little.
Sound good?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Not sure how long I can stay like this considering my phone's owns data, but I'll give it be here. Figured I'd try.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you.
Got another person to talk so I don't have to. Despite the epic voice. I'm
So like he
actually kind
says,
of tired of talking.
So yeah, like I said, Rigiri says that he can stay out here and watch the water in the lake and see if Kawa comes back to the lake while you guys are inside. He also wants to investigate the water as well to make sure that it hasn't been tampered with in any way.
I'll help you out when it comes to staying out here and checking out the water and stuff, if you don't mind.
Oh, that'd be great. We could each check different areas and see if the water's the same anywhere. Are the rest of you guys okay going inside?
Yeah, just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if we're gonna split the party.
Okay, Kotora will stay outside with Wagiri, and the rest of you can head inside the very dangerous building. Dangerous due to the unkept upkeep of it, of course.
And for no other reason. Totally.
The perfectly safe, unkept building that's been unmaintenanced for who knows how long.
And also has damage.
A lot of damage.
So, who wants to open the door?
Have
Jace
that,
did
young one.
successfully get. Jace got the lock off the door, but you can take. I do want to see who is going in the door first, though.
I think Arcus.
Probably Arcus.
I gave him permission to step first.
All right,
This
Arcus
is a learning experience now.
Arcus is gonna slowly open the door. Because he saw the unsafe sign.
As you slowly open the door, it kind of creaks a little bit on the hinges, more from ill use than anything. It has that certain, almost familiar tone of something that has been left unopened for quite a while and now being opened once again. As you do open, you see what looks to be a decently enough long hallway with a few rooms to the left and right. The doors to the rooms don't particularly seem like they're locked in any way. It seems more like just kind of a hallway, as you see at the end of the hallway a double-sided door that you can imagine would lead to the more middle of the plant.
A lot of rooms.
Is there any sign that is like clearly visible of there having been anyone here recently? Like, just to make sure that there's nothing like extremely obvious.
You would see that there's one or two doors that seem to be open. You'd imagine that anyone who doesn't expect company here would probably not bother closing a door if they think they're the only ones that are going to be walking around the place. So the doors being open is a little bit odd, as you'd imagine it would probably indicate that, though the lock on the outside would indicate maybe they didn't come in this way from just an initial guess. But as you see some of the doors being opened, there does seem to be a pattern of dust that does seem to be missing in certain areas that would indicate traffic, but that's about as far as you could get from
Alright,
just
cool,
an
'cause
initial look at it.
Good, you even answered my question ahead of time because I was about to ask if there was any doors that had dust missing. Riv will point this out to other people just to make sure.
So someone's been in here. Got it.
Yeah, we don't know how long, but dust tends to resettle and spread, so it's likely been a little bit since since anyone else had been in here before the last person considering all this dust. So the fact that there is still disturbed dust is probably a good sign for us finding someone, at least the signs of someone.
Can someone roll an investigation check for Haboku?
Yeah, sure. What's your die pool?
Give his
I can
body instinct investigation. I believe it was 5. 5 for tracking the ascent.
All right.
I should also have their I have their sheet open here.
All right. Arcus, what's your investigation, by the way?
1.
2, 3, 4. It is 4, Ida, by the way. It is 4.
He has a specialty for
Specialties, then.
Okay. 5 then.
All right. In that case, Arcus, do you want me to take investigation and you take teamwork for assists?
Yeah. Good.
Wow.
Wow.
My luck is okay.
Hey.
You know what? Now it's back to being the expected. Hey, 3 is the expected result.
Fair.
Like 3.5, so it's like it could go either way.
As you begin to go through the building, everyone begin to slowly file the way in. The first door to your left itself seems to be some sort of almost break room. The cabinets themselves, one or two of the cabinets have fallen on the floor. You can just imagine them almost just wear and tear. You can see what looks to be some sort of cooler box near the end. But it seems to be you could imagine that there is almost it looks like no one's really touched it in a while. In the middle there is a very long table with a few chairs haphazardly kind of moved around and shifted here and there. Somebody didn't really keep very tidy as they left this room. There does seem to be a few papers on the middle of the table, though as upon closer inspection, you would see that the papers are all indicating the closure of the water plant, and they seem to be news articles. All of them seem to be the same news article that's been spread out as if several people were reading at the same time, mentioning with the new filtration or the new dealership with Kenzo leading to the water plant itself being shut down due to no longer being needed for the town.
Huh.
Question: would Haboku have picked up any scents?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
With the roll for them, give me the investigation for them. So give me that 5 for Haboku.
No, that was everyone's combined roll. The
Oh,
one that
okay,
I
everyone's combined.
Yeah.
As you would sniff around Haboku, you would pick up a very, very lingering scent of a lot of several other Digimon. But I mean, it is very faint. It's kind of like that bustle, but the smell of the water treatment plant and some of the chemicals left behind, you do smell more of that kind of. You kind of have pick up that smell of chemicals that seems to be in the air. Not enough to you'd imagine would be damaging to inhale, but whatever chemicals they were using to treat the water seems to have kind of had a lingering effect as it's been allowed to kind of sit and stagnate since the closure of the water treatment plant. As you would read from the papers, it has been a very decently amount of time. Even years have passed since the water filtration plant has been inactivated. So it's kind of like that faint odor of chemicals that have been allowed to permeate throughout the building.
Okay. Hey, can he still like from what he's ever sent? Can he pick up any sense on like if any Digimon has recently been in the area or where they've been?
I would say you recognize a scent that does seem to be more prevalent. It's only a singular scent, so you can tell it's only from one. Like there's one particular scent that seems to kind of be permeating around the area that's more recent, but you wouldn't be able to identify it off the scent alone. But maybe if you were to smell something similar, you would have that as kind of like a scent bank, if you will.
Fair, fair. He'll be trying his best to follow it, though.
Okay, and as you guys are kind of looking around that room, Kotora,
Yes.
as you're kind of looking out, you see Rigiri kind of going towards one end of the kind of like the opposite end of the factory itself, but more so to kind of look at the different water. As he says, we want to make sure that we keep an eye out for that shack. If Kawa's coming back, he must be coming back to that shack. He probably goes there at the end of the night, probably not really expecting people to bother him too much. So we want to make sure we at least keep a good eye out there, but I want to go check out the water down here and see if the water there is the same as over here. I don't. I
Yeah,
want to make sure that certain parts of the water, and look for any pipes too. If there's any pipes that might be either leaching into the water or leaching out, one of the two.
yeah, that makes sense. Come on, come on, let's go. I'll keep an eye on I'll keep an eye on the shack, but I'll follow you. I'll just glance every once in a while.
You see him as he does go, and he says he kind of as you see him go towards the end of the kind of you see him go to like one of the other end of the buildings. He says, I also want to see if this door is unlocked over here, and he kind of is kind of looking around the building, and he does say, I think this door might be unlocked. I think they might have come through. I think they might be coming through in and out this way. I don't see a lock on one of these doors over here.
Is this the same building that they went into, or is this a different
This is
building?
this is your teammates are on the north side of the building. He's
Mhm.
walking towards the south side.
Okay, but it's the same building.
Yeah, same building. It's like a giant warehouse, essentially. Kind of, well, from the outside, it would look kind of like a giant warehouse, essentially.
Okay, okay. Ah, okay. So it's it seems they came from the south and didn't really look into going into the north. If anybody came in here.
Well, the
Okay.
shack is centered in the middle, so if he's going in one way, he'd probably just keep going in and out the same way. It's better than trying to relock and lock a door again.
Hmm.
As he kind of peeks his head around. If you want, we could see what's inside this end of the building. Well, we want to make sure we keep it outside, so we'll let them investigate most of the north side of the building. But I'm curious if the south side has anything that they might have left behind in it.
Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Sure. Come on.
You see him as he kind of opens up the door. You can tell that the door has definitely had traffic as you kind of look up and down the door. With the clear lack of a lock, the door itself opens as if it's kind of like the opposite of the other vibe, where it's like you can tell this door's been opened and back and forth. It doesn't exactly scrape on the ground as much as you would imagine an open door. You can imagine that people have been in and out of here at least a few times recently.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I think it looks like there's some kind of hallway, and there's a door to the right. It seems to be opened. I'll just take a look here if you want to look inside that room real fast. See if there's any cups or any sort of food that may be using it.
Okay. Kotora is gonna approach the door. He's not going to go inside, but he's going to peek into it just to see if there's anything inside there.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay.
So let me find. Oh my goodness.
5. Nice. 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. As you look inside the building, Ragiri keeps the door wide open so he doesn't give any indication. He's making sure the door is wide open so it doesn't shut in any capacity. As you kind of walk inside the hallway, you do look through the room, and not that you would know, but it is similar to the other break room, where you see what looks to be a long table along with a few different newspapers looking on the middle of the table.
Hmm. Kotora is going to go in quickly and grab those newspapers.
Okay, and as you're grabbing those newspapers, you kind of see as they mention about the closure of the plant and how you're kind of just reading through it. You see how it mentions the closure of the plant and how it was so sad that everyone managed to lose their jobs. but Kenzo did promise that anyone from the town that was working in the filtration plant would find themselves welcome, as well as finding jobs within the city itself. And it mentions, and you can even see on the newspapers, there's a few job hirings for places inside of Kenzo for any workers that were closed due to the water filtration plant.
Hmm. Kotora is gonna come out with the whatchamacallit, the newspaper in tow, and he's going to show it to Ragiri. Hey Ragiri, what do you make of this?
And he kind of looks. This was before I ended up making my way into the town. This looks like it was years ago. I wonder if anyone in the Kenzo city must have hopefully found work in there. I know Shinjo isn't exactly, well, it has a lot of business. It used to have a ton of business before all this glitch stuff happened. So I'd be really surprised to see that they'd have to go to the city for work, but yeah, I guess this must be from the closure a long time ago. Man, I don't know why people would be investigating this. Well, I know now why they're investigating, but this place must have been vacant for years. I guess you
So
don't really know what to do with a building like this once it's closed down.
so this was closed down before all the glitch stuff even began to happen, right?
Yeah, this was years ago. I guess that's
Hmm.
what that must have been whenever the Kenzo was building up itself into a really big city. I know they needed a lot of work in the city to kind of make it into the metropolis it is today. I don't know if maybe they closed this down to get more people to come into the city for work.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. This newspaper did the newspaper said why the plant was closed down, or was it just mentioning the tragedy that it was being closed down?
He kind of reads over the newspaper as well. It looks like it says here that Kenzo made an agreement with the town to supply them with water from their. They said they have a lot better filtration system in the town, and that they would supply the water via trade route. And they said it would be more efficient for everyone, and they could get more people into the city where all the hustle and bustle was happening. It's kind of paraphrasing a little bit, but I guess they wanted to build up the city, and the only way they could get people in it is to get people new jobs there.
Hmm. I see. I see. Huh. So the Kenzo just made an agreement with this town to provide them with better filtration, even though they already had their own. I mean, I suppose that makes sense, but wouldn't it have been preferable to just keep going with the plan when it's near the city?
Guy looks. Well, I know Shinzo relies a lot on. I know. I don't- He says I know the town I know Shashin relies a lot on Kenzo's trade. They kind of have this mutual agreement where they have a lot of business going back and forth. Maybe it was to make Shashin more reliant on Kenzo for materials and stuff.
That doesn't sound good. Huh.
Maybe whoever's doing this maybe wants to give back his Shashin or something. Maybe it's a disgruntled worker, but this was years ago.
Hmm.
As he kind of begins to read over it, and you guys kind of theorize together a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me get back to the other group. The rest of you.
Sure.
Arcus, you would see the last door on the right before the big, kind of double doors seems to be just no more than a janitor's closet with a lot of outdated supplies. The room itself seems to just not have any recent traffic, as most of the things in there seems to be buckets. You see a few mops, brooms, things of the like. You see a few outdated means of cleaning, a few cleaner solutions that seem to be on the shelves, but the shelves themselves are almost completely dusted over.
Hmm. Just a janitor's closet in here, I think. think that's what it's called.
Welcome back, Ido.
Interesting. I will say you've sufficiently explored the hallways, so you do see that the big double doors don't appear to have any chains or locks on them.
Yeah. I remember that you mentioned to us that
Mhm.
there were areas where there had been signs of traffic due to the dust
Mhm.
being disturbed. Is there anything additional we found out in those areas?
You would see the room itself that at least the break room itself seems to have somebody that has been walked around a few times. It doesn't look like someone has been spending a sufficient amount of time, but more someone exploring the building, as the dust itself seems to be pretty rushed and wherever it is. Not someone who has been deciding to take up home, but more so someone's been rifling through trying to see what maybe you can imagine maybe seeing what is here and there. But nothing that would indicate that they would be consistently in and out of here.
Oh, in that case, I
Similar
still
to
say
how
we
you
follow.
guys are investigating.
I still say we follow those footprints.
It does not lead into the janitor's closet, I will say that.
Riv will just go. Hey guys, do you think we should just follow the footprints? I mean, there is footprints around, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the footprints would take you to the big double doors. You could tell the handles themselves definitely seem like there isn't any dust on the handles, as whatever would have used the handles to open the door would have already wiped away any dust that would be have collected there.
All right. 1, 2, 3. And Arcus slowly opens the door.
As you open the door itself, you open up to be looking into a very, very large warehouse type room. You see what looks to be two humongous, like pool-sized vats that seem to have some kind of mechanical arms that are basically putting themselves like into the water itself, with a staircase leading up to either side of the humongous vats of water. And there's also a few other smaller stations built out. Very, very dusty, though the sunlight is making it a little bit hard to see in here. What kind of light sources are you guys using? There is clearly not electricity going on in this building at the moment.
About that,
Light sources. What kind of light sources are you guys using?
did we pick up flashlights?
Well, I know that I know that Riv does have exploration and travel supplies, so I'm just going to like assume that would be included, considering he literally has gone into ruins before.
Yeah. What kind of just for flavor reasons? What kind of light sources do you think you'd pick up?
He would probably have two. One being like just like a sort of like easily handheld flashlight, and probably also like one of those like
Forehead ones.
elastic band like headlamp things.
The perfect nighttime reader's choice of flashlight.
Well, I mean, he kind of needs his wings if he's going to be writing stuff down, so like he can't really particularly hold the flashlight as well. So little headlamp.
I think those are called minor. There's like minor helmets a little bit, but it's just the strap part of the helmet.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but like I've used them. They're actually they are so helpful when you are in a cave just somewhere deep below the ground. Oh my god, they're lifesavers.
So you guys want to be in a cave deep below the ground? God.
I mean, fuck, I do. Let me put this into perspective. I willingly went into a cave exploration thing where For 2 miles straight, I crawled on my stomach in a place where I could reach out to my left and touch a wall, reach out to my right and touch a wall. I had my head tilted to the side, and I had to take off my helmet and push it in front of me, because otherwise it wouldn't fit through the crevice.
Doing your dangerous escapades.
Legitimately, you give me that, I will go down there. Do not...
With a successful amount of head lampage as well as flashlight, you'd be able to kind of see. Like I said, most of the floor in the building in the center seems to be made up of these 2 very large, round vats of some sort. And like I said, you do see up in the corner there is like there's kind of like a staircase up on either side with what looks to be almost like a small kind of lookout type of area. It seems to be coated with a almost glass, but the glass itself seems to be kind of shadowed a little bit cracked from just not being taken care of. And so like I said, there's a staircase to the side, and then there's the big giant vats in the middle. What would you like to investigate first?
Is it just me, or do those seem pretty advanced to be giving up just to have water transferred to you from somewhere else?
Yeah. I wonder if there's an office around here somewhere.
I've never seen stuff like this.
Like, this is high end. I didn't even have this growing up.
I am back. Sorry about that. Also, they are called headlamps.
Okay, so they're not called. Okay, so the headlamps. I like that. I like the looks of those. I kind of wanted to get one myself at some point.
As for Asher, he's got an app on his Valve dock that just makes the screen all white.
The blind mode. The blinding mode, my bad. The
Yes.
blinding mode.
Oh, so Discord light mode. Got it.
I was literally about to
Yes.
say Discord light mode then.
The curse of Discord light.
It works
I'm not
very well
negotiating.
it works very well at, lighting up the area in front of him.
I will say, Tell, it would not be a stretch of the imagination to think that you would fly up and look at some of the where the staircases lead, and you do see what looks to be kind of like it's imagine it's kind of like a large rectangular room with like these glass panes that seem to be looking out. It does seem to be an office of sort, though I will say, even though the door is locked, one of the windows is just completely gone. You can feel free to use the door if you want, but it wouldn't take anything to kind of just go through the giant hole in the wall.
He'll go through the hole in the wall, though. If I really wanted to be funny, I would have him go in through the window, unlock the door, go out, and then walk in through the door. But he'll just go in. He'll just go in through the hole. He's not going to bother with that. That would just be the funny one. Riv will also be taking special care to not, in fact, step or put stress on any area that is looking perhaps corroded or eroded.
Yeah. As you do, you look around, and as you're kind of investigating, it is clearly an office. All of the a lot of the cabinets and everything that are in there, all of the cabinets are kind of like haphazardly pulled open. Not all the way, but some of them like half pulled open, and most of the files seem to be missing from the place. Whenever you'd imagine that whenever they left, they took all of the documentation and everything with them. Though, as you are investigating, give me an additional investigation check, as well as a perception check.
All right. Any order and any modifiers?
Neither to either.
All right.
In either order is fine.
All right. All right. That's pretty decent.
Is that the investigation?
Yep. And then, hey, adjust win roll. Nice. Happened a little bit early there, Dice, but I'll accept it. Yeah, so that's a 3 on investigation, 4 on perception.
Okay. As you are investigating the room itself, You do notice a few things that have been maybe a little bit less looked through than some of the others. Like a lot of the main things have been opened up. You do realize that one of the tables themselves, there's kind of like a smaller desk, or kind of like a smaller drawer at the bottom of one of the tables, and the table itself does seem to be having a lock attached to it, something that has not been haphazardly grabbed open. But as you kind of see, as you're kind of looking around the room, your perception does actually pick up something, and it seems to, as you're kind of sitting up there in this kind of lookout tower, there seems to be some sort of perception of movement that seems to be happening at the other end of the, kind of like the other end of the vats at the other side of the warehouse. It's only brief, but you do catch movement.
Attack.
Interesting. No, what? He doesn't have range for that. He has a range of 25 feet. I don't know where you think's gonna.
Just
I don't know where
headbutt.
you think that's going.
Use your head.
No. You see, it's not Friday, so I can't.
He
I
has
can't-
to
I can't do
use
that
more
yet.
than a tic tac.
Also, yeah, Riv has at least 2 brain cells to rub together, at least. So it just won't work. He just get like actually hurt from it. So what Riv is going to do is he's going to leave his leave his headlamp on, take it off, set it on the desk so that way it looks, but it's still like partially pointed out, so that way it's still completely quote unquote visible, and then try and like, you know, go back down to everyone else to just try and like, you know, go like, oh, okay, well, this is visible, so I'll leave this here and then go back to everyone else right now.
Yeah, go ahead. What would you like to say to everyone else?
As he does this, he's basically going to go and really, really quietly go, hey guys, there was movement on the other end by the vats. I kind of saw him while I was up there looking through some of the papers, and yeah, I wanted to let you guys know.
Oh boy. Stealth.
Okay, I'll stay here.
Asher will turn off his valve dock.
Riv is like
And sold that one.
massively unstealthy, so like he's
Oh no.
Riv is literally made of like rock and ore. Anytime he tries to walk anywhere, it's going to make noise.
Not to
Well,
mention he has a constant ice aura around him.
Yeah, so he's kind of fucked when it comes to stealth usually. So
I don't think Arcus is
So-
helping very much with the stealth roll.
Someone can take us teamwork from Haboku.
You want to take that, Arcus?
Yes.
you could vigor and make the 6s count.
I will
wanna
say
see-
you can also, yeah, like I said, you might want to.
You might just want to willpower that and re-roll the whole damn thing.
Just you squeak loudly as you approach.
Yeah, I'm willpowering.
Let's get a little
Arcus
bit
was
better.
vibrating too much.
Oh, no.
Back to 0.
I'm gonna
All that's
use,
going through-
It's okay. You don't have to, Arcus. It's just a stealth roll.
All that's going through my head with Arcus here is just he thinks he's being stealthy, but he's on his hind legs with his arms outstretched, and he's actually, you know, doing the red panda intimidation thing. But he has to walk slowly this way, so clearly that's stealth.
Right. I think this is how it goes.
We'll work on it later. Search, I guess. Perception.
I'll let you do that perception, and then I'm gonna get back to Kotora and Wagiri.
Well, Asher
Just
is
let me
also
get
going
that,
to do perception as well, looking around for...
Oh yeah,
Just take one for me. Yours is probably higher than mine.
I'm going to strength boost this.
Body booster out to 2.
Or yeah, body boost.
Okay. And I will describe what you guys kind of see in a moment. Kotora,
Yes.
as you guys are investigating the outside area, kind of as you completely unaware of what is going on in the middle, Rigiri does, as you're kind of looking around, I think, go ahead and give me a perception check yourself, Kotora.
Okay. Oh boy.
What did I elven eyes see?
Oh boy.
Kotora is very attentive. 6.
As you would kind of, as now that you're kind of on the outside again, looking around, you would actually see you would see something, seeming to be, it's kind of hard to tell from this distance, but you do see what looks to be a smaller Digimon that seems to be going to the shack that you guys were, that you guys were investigating earlier.
Kotora is going to poke at Rigiri. Oh, hey, somebody's going to the shack.
Oh, that must be, and you kind of see as he puts his like hand up to his eyes. Oh, that must be Kawa. I'll go say hey to him and see if maybe we have any information on the investigation so far. Let's go and see if we can catch up to him before he ends up going somewhere else.
Yeah. Out of character question, okay. Was Koa Koa is one of the cameramen that we're suspecting, right?
It's actually a Gamamon.
Yeah. He is one of the ones that we're suspecting.
It is one of the reporters in town. It is suspected. Rigiri says that it is one of the reporters that has been covering some stuff going on in town.
Okay. Actually,
Yeah, you're gonna see Rigiri. Yeah, come on, let's go check it. He might have. He kind of gestures over. I want to see if he has any pictures from here that's already been developed. He kind of holds up his camera. I know I wasn't supposed to take pictures of you guys, so I've been taking pictures of the lake and everything, but mine going to take a few days to develop. Let's see if he has any updated pictures. And you kind of see very almost at the prospect of like new pictures. You see him kind of running off in that direction a little bit, with gesturing you to follow as well.
wait, Rigiri. Shouldn't we tell everybody else before we go and meet him?
Yeah. You tell the others, and I'll go see if he has any pictures, and I'll bring him over here so we can all meet together.
I actually, Rigiri. What? How about you go tell them, and I go meet this person.
Actually, yeah. You go check out and see if you can bring him over to the rest of the group. I'll go meet up with the group and get a hold of him.
Sounds good.
And as you do that, Rigiri will run to the north side of the building and kind of very almost as running as he can. He has a lot of kind of a backpack on, so he's a little bit slow, but he'll run to the north of the building as you make your way to the shack.
Yeah, Kotora is heading to the shack to meet this Gamamon.
I'm doing all of our stuff as he runs.
How fast is Kotora?
I'd say he's decently fast. I mean, I don't have Sumi, so he's just regular speed.
He's doing some joggins.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you make your way to the shack, I will cut back to the other group.
Yeah, go ahead.
Asher, you end up seeing, as you're now kind of having a little bit more precise, your lights all more, especially your Valve Dock and everything, your lights all more transition to where you guys are exactly. But as you're pointing it out, I think you turned off your Valve Dock light, didn't you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do any of you have any sort of like night vision capabilities or be able to see easily in the dark?
I have low light.
Does anyone have as far as dark?
Dark would be really hard for anyone to have right now, I think. Because I think it requires
Yeah.
multiple in perception. We don't have the XP for that.
I will say there is some light coming, so I will consider the whole area, at least unless it's immediately shadowed by something. I will consider the whole area to be low light. So who has low light vision?
I do.
I
Arcus?
went and double checked. Dark vision requires perception level 3, so
Okay.
yeah, we
Who
don't have that.
has low light? Arcus?
I think it's just Arcus.
Yeah, probably.
Arcus, the unstealthiest character. Let's go.
Look, I do this outside, not inside, for a reason.
Arcus, as you would be able to kind of see as you're now being more pointed out and more directional. Your eyes kind of as they're darting around everywhere like super fast. You do kind of pick up on what looks to be a little bit of movement, even more so, and it seems to be kind of at the end. You also kind of pick up the faint sounds of someone as if kind of like the metal sounding of like the big giant vats in the middle and made of like this heavy metal kind of material, and you can just vaguely pick up the sound of what sounds to be metal, as if someone is tapping their claws along metal.
Here, someone hear metal sounds.
Soon we all.
I also see something over there.
I assume we all can hear the metal sounds.
Yeah. It would just be August is be able to pick up the motion a little bit more to accompany it. Something does seem to be actively, from the way you're guessing, something is actively trying to not be seen by you guys.
I think it's trying to hide whatever it is.
Do we call him out?
Asher ambush him with Discord light mode.
Asher, flash him. Not that way.
I'm okay with this. Yeah, let's ambush him with Discord light mode. Yes.
I guess
Rex
we're gonna
is
attempt
very
to-
confused.
So we're going to attempt to flash him.
Rex just got home. Is very confused by this.
Just tell him that we're destroying people's eyes with Discord light mode as an attack.
We're destroying people's eyes with Discord light mode as an attack.
Oh, I've done that. I've done that before.
So yeah, Asher's gonna sneak up and turn on the screen. It's a very sizable screen, so very bright light.
Oh, that is a funny roll. Perfectly balanced. Go ahead and give me a additional sneak roll, Asher. Now that you have a little bit more information, I will give you a +1 to this. Now that you have a little more information on where.
Take 2 bonus for me. I'm helping.
Well, that would also, if you're going with them, you'd also have to make a stealth roll yourself. If you're also going to join Asher.
Nope, I'm just gonna give him pointers from the shadows. I'm doing dad things. So take 2 additional dice from me. Nope, just 1.
Would you make up your mind?
Sorry, it's just 1. I thought I had 2 in subterfuge. I only have 1.
I'll just drop that last die then.
Sorry.
You're good. You know, I understand. You are perfectly fine. If you drop the first or last one, it'd be the same. Okay, as you are approaching them, you see as you're kind of going around, you sneak around the corner, waiting to see what's on the other side. And as you're getting closer, you don't really able to hear really much now that it almost seems to be still completely. But as you round the corner and you try to turn on your light as flash as possible, you are met with a creature of some sort. It seems to be almost an amalgamation of several different Digimon parts that all seem to have been put together in almost a Frankenstein-like way. And as you point out and eventually try to blind it, it is going to try to actually attack at you.
Oh, cool. Combat.
And the rest of you are about 40 feet away on the other side of the warehouse. And I will describe this in detail. As you kind of look briefly at this, Asher, it looks like it has the head of an Icemon. Its torso seems to be a shell of some kind of... Not the shell from the Shell Shaker, but from the Oklomon. Its arms itself seems to have a hook in one hand and a mushroom arm in the other hand. And its legs seem to be made of almost what looks to be grasping vines. It is an abomination of several parts that looks to have been stitched together in some way.
So we found the culprit.
I will let you roll initiative for a second while I let me go ahead and check one thing real fast. It's just one creature though.
We're all rolling initiative, correct?
Everyone but Kotora.
Can
Sorry,
you roll for
Kotora.
me?
Yeah. What
How many dice you got there, Haboku?
I think he is 2, I believe.
He has 1 initiative, expertise, and 2 body.
Nope. It would just be 1 plus 1.
1 plus,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 1 plus 1. Expertise initiative.
Combat initiative goes off of,
I'm sorry, Haboku.
Oh, Haboku.
I'm sorry, little one.
I apologize. I apologize, little one. I have only given you 3 today.
Did he just break out for anyone else? Hello? Uh-oh. I think... Okay, yeah, Discord's having issues.
Internet side of this.
Okay, hopefully that'll fix it.
What happened there?
Discord sometimes does a funny thing where in order to fix it, you just kind of need to change the server location.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize anything was even going on.
Nah.
It was subtle this time, but yeah.
I just heard silence, so I thought everybody was just being quiet.
I was gonna say, so Asher, upon seeing this amalgamation of various Digimon parts, what do you say in exclamation? Because right now your team just thinks you're sneaking up and being super sneaky at the moment. You hear a loud ah from you as you recognize it is a very exclamatory Asher. Arcus, you were the first to hear this as you were kind of watching Asher approach, and as you all kind of see that flash of light that you recognize as what Asher was planning on doing, you just hear kind of like a Asher's ah from the distance.
Ah!
It was more of like it was more like exactly 3 lowercase a's.
Yeah. However, there is a Riv who got has a thing that gives him way higher initiative.
Yeah, he gets a guaranteed +10 on initiative rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, is that going to be? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So 11, that would actually put you. Riv, you were the first one to react.
Zerda, why don't you put us on the combat tracker?
Yeah, because
I didn't actually know there was a combat tracker. I was putting this in a sticky note.
Yeah, no, it's cross swords in the top right.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Okay. How do I add people to this?
So you're gonna go to the player characters on the right, and then no. Well, apparently that's working, so never mind. Carry on.
I know that's Riv, but and then get rid of Kotora. Delete.
Asher's in danger. Haboku takes one step and trips over his cloak. There, now there's a reason why he's going last.
And then I will fix this. Riv, it is your first go.
All right. Has he noticed the thing, or has he only heard the ah?
You've only heard an ah and a very bright light.
All right.
It is a surprised ah. Not necessarily panicked. Probably should be panicked, but it's not.
Well, he isn't seeing much right now, apparently. I know the others were, well, he was like creeping around slightly. Could Riv, if he moved twice, fly to the top of one of these tanks? Like, are they like massive, or is it like
with double movement and the fact that you're flying? I would say you would be able to. They're not. They're like maybe 25 feet tall in total, 20 to 25 feet tall, but you would be able to get to the top and kind of get over there with full movement.
All right, so he'll move twice with 2 standard actions. Does he clearly see the thing?
Yes. With the very bright light that Asher is providing, it is basically lighting them up.
All right. Now I might just be forgetting my lore here because it's been a hot second. Do these kinds of creatures have an in-lore name that we would know?
As far as you know, they just call them glitched creatures so far. They have not had some sort of unified name, though some people commonly refer to them as abominations, but that is more of a catch-all term for anyone that has been glitched. Which technically includes most of you guys.
You know, I think Riv is going to push for the term glitch chimera.
You can invent a term for it.
I think he's gonna. I think that's probably what he'll end up writing down in his notes then. Okay, but he will look. He'll blink at that for a second, and 0% stealth, considering he has nothing in subterfuge, is going to go, "Hey guys, there's a glitch creature right here."
Lay sigh from Jace.
I guess that
Haboku
would
will
be
pick
every.
himself up, attempt to run again, only to trip and fall again.
I think full movement is all of your actions. I think.
No, I have a ranged quick action attack.
Go ahead.
So he'll make the little attempt, the bean. He does not have good combat skills. Who'd have thought? Or could get lucky and roll a 3 on accuracy. This is special, by the way. Special evasion.
Special? Okay, that'll hit.
That'll hit. All right. Get ready for the absolutely massive damage pool of a starting character quick attack. Chip damage.
Ooh,
Let's go.
2 dice.
It's 3.
Ooh. Big
It has
spend
1
right here.
power, he has 1 in send, and he has 2 in mind, which rounds down to 1 when halved.
Okay, they are chipped as you basically do your ranged quick attack, and you kind of shave off some of the ice from their head as you are looking down at them. You see a little bit of ice particles.
Nice. Well, hit stun is hit stun, and also chip damage.
Arcus, you are made aware of something very dangerous looming very close to Asher.
It has limbs. Lots of them. And he's going to move towards Asher. However, he only has 30 feet of movement. So he is going to attempt to like fire off some of his quills, but something strange ends up happening. They turn into like balls of ice and then shoot out. He's using frigid impulse.
Okay. I would say you're able to just round the corner enough to kind of make a straight line for where they are at the moment.
This is... Yay, starting moves!
Yay!
Perfectly balanced.
Wow, doubling up on the true combo there, huh?
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
I'm gonna use 2 soul.
Oh, thank God it wasn't a botch at least.
True.
Hey, the soul!
True comboed.
Damn.
Jeez.
Literally just bodied. Holy shit.
I mean, at least there's a 1. It's done.
So... 2... I sold the ones, so... Except that last one. So it's...
Okay, so
Three.
what's the 3 accuracy? 3 accuracy would hit.
And then, damage. 2!
Is that physical or special, by the way?
Special.
Yay! Special. We're absolutely pounding on that special integrity. Let's go.
Okay, as you go to them and you're able to get some of the quills off, you do kind of start sticking the quills into their body, though the shell itself does seem to prevent most of the quills. You do manage to get a little bit of the quills in between, kind of like where the shell's arms kind of come out, and you do kind of see a little bit of as you kind of seem a little bit stunned by your attack. It does seem to have at least done some effectiveness, though.
Why'd I fire off ice?
And Jace, what about you?
I'm going to move 30 feet up to be next to Asher. And I'm going to use Rico to crit scale, so that way my crit goes up by 1.
Okay.
And that unfortunately ends my turn.
I'm gonna put Kotora here as a representation of the monster. They got a 12. Asher, it is your go.
How dare you be mean to my brother?
So, to add another creature onto the tracker, what I typically do is I go into the character selection and then add a new character and just name it whatever, and then add that to the combat tracker from the character selection.
I do see. Oh, that's just enough action. Oh, I see characters. Okay, thank you for that. I will look into that a little bit.
And after you make it, right-click on it and take ownership as GM.
Where's the character? I have the characters here.
On the right-hand side, there's a drop-down. I believe it's under Player and then Characters.
I think I found... There we go. Kotora was no longer evil.
Now at this point, you can click that little green circle on the right side. There you go.
There you go. Does that show him or hide him?
That showed him.
It shows them, and they're red for us, so,
Perfect.
Okay, for Asher... Well, first off, free action to put away his valve dock. Very important. Then... Defrag, refrag. As a full action. Yeah. Oh boy, those ones.
They do seem to love us.
the tens paired with the ones just...
See, it's not even
It's a
true combo.
That's why I call it the true combo.
It's an extra true combo.
Well, on the plus side, it has been attacked successfully multiple times, so it might just have trash evasion right now.
I will say the number you need to hit it is going to actually it's only 2 to hit it. After I wouldn't be able to make it any lower, but 2 does actually hit it.
Oh, is it not taking hit stun?
Let's see. I think that doesn't that lower their evasion by 1, I think?
Yeah, a successful attack against someone, even like an attack with successes against someone, like on the accuracy check, will lower the defender's evasion by 1 until the start of their next turn.
Okay, that's what I thought. It has a hit stun of 1 right now, right then?
Arcus attacked as well, so it's been attacked twice.
Okay, so yeah, then the 2 would hit because it has 3 baseline. So the 1, yes. You go ahead and hit it with that.
Hurrah!
Hit stun. This just, quickly turning into the whole
7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10.
This is turning. I was gonna say it would be fun if we just kept chip damaging it, so that way it turned into like Shaun of the Dead pull Q scene.
No, apparently Asher really does not like this guy. That is astral. That is astral type. If that has any bearing on.
Okay.
Actually, I guess it wouldn't matter because even if it were weak, I didn't roll any 6s, so.
How much? 8 damage in total?
8.
That okay, because that is you have almost completely eradicated. It is still standing by a little bit, but you have like you start to like unravel this like glitch data that's about it, and like you see this big old like body, and like it surprises you initially, but after you gain the composure, you essentially are able to get this attack off, and like you start to unravel as you see parts of like the hook arm like falls off as long with the mushroom arm as well. It is like you are unraveling like a sewing needle and unraveling parts of its body as it almost begins to just drop. And as the body parts drop to the floor, it is almost just disintegrates into essentially like a just like very, very faint visible, almost just like data that just seems to drop off of this thing. It is
Asher-
still standing with no arms.
Asher is going to try and collect that data
You may
to go restore to
try...
others later.
Mm-hmm. As you do try to collect the data, you feel like the data itself is incomplete, as you're almost feeling like it is an echo of the data itself. Like you're getting pieces of it, but you don't feel like it is the complete amount. It feels like there is missing from this.
Interesting. Well, talking is a free action, so you really should just stand down, unless you want us to completely annihilate you.
And as you see it open its mouth, thinking that it's going to open its mouth in response, it is going to do let me see what type it is. An electric typing, Rowdy Rocker, as it shouts almost this ear like piercing scream that is just, it is such a loud shout, directed at mostly, oh god,
mostly God.
luckily
Okay,
accuracy.
well,
How does the crit work again for accuracy?
Okay, mostly at Dasher. Got it.
God, excuse me, I'm the god here. I'm kidding.
How does, I will say, how does the accuracy work if you double someone's?
Okay, so it is either 5 or double their evasion, whichever is higher.
So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to hit. No, 9,
Ooh.
10 to hit.
Who?
Who in particular?
It rolled 4 10s.
But who is it targeting?
You, Asher.
Okay, then that would be a crit.
I just looked at him, just like, oh god, it just rolled 4 10s.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I'm like...
Now, when you crit, you can choose 2 things. You can either pick, and you pick this before you roll, you either get 1.5 times the dice, or you choose a different one where after you roll, depending on what you want, you can either increase the crit range of your dice, making 9s explode and count as 10s, or decrease the difficulty. But you can look at that one after you roll.
This thing is just going for pure damage. It's not trying to be accurate. It is just shouting in pure frustration directly at Asher.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know how the crits work.
Yeah.
This is
so it would do the 1.5 multiplier.
Well, okay, well, both would be. It just more depends if you want to be safer or gamble.
I rolled 3 1s and 2 7s. It got a -1 in its damage.
Did it roll any 6s?
No, just 2 7s and 5 and 3 1s. It botched damage but crit on the attack. I guess it doesn't do anything. It's just really accurately yelling, if I'm understanding.
That
Does this thing have like a damage dice of 3?
No, it rolled 3 1s and 2 7s.
No, well, because you picked the 1.5 times, so.
Yeah.
It's on the dice.
1.5 times the dice. Okay, so if it has 5 dice, I'll just add how many more
That's
is
3
that?
more
If
dice.
it's 3 more? Okay. Right now it has a total of -1, so we'll see if the 3 extra dice can pull it together. It is a total of +1 in total, +1 electricity.
All right, so that's chip damage.
I will say that, or I will point out that enemies do also have access to things like willpower rerolls, boost dice, and such.
Yep, it just depends when and if you want to use it. They will by default have one of
the willpower and that.
Willpower, vigor. The boost die depends on their primary stats. For that, it's equal to all of your primaries, and then divide by 3.
I'll say it. I'll say it just has a willpower for the whole thing and keep it at that. That is a 1, 1, 2, 2. It is still a +1.
Chip damage.
Two ones, 2 7s, and a 9.
Well, you can still do stuff like soul.
It'll be fine.
Asher's just going to raise up a paw and brush off his shoulder.
Haboku, it is your go.
So was that your Threader?
It accurately manages to yell at you with all of its power, but you're not able to be hurt by it. You feel a slight tinge from it, but it's more of an annoyance than anything.
Okay, so Haboku has zoomies, so now he should be able to move the full 40 feet. And seeing where everyone else has run and hearing the attack at Asher, I'm sure, and once he's beside Asher and sees the glitched abomination or glitched chimera, he's gonna immediately take an offensive position and growl at it. And trying to think, I can't have his document up right now. He is going to.
You can bite it. You can use your flame.
Yeah. I say, given his hostility right now at the side of the glitched monstrosity, he's probably going to rush in and bite it.
Okay, that is a 3 to hit, which is enough to hit it. And it is, you got 3 successes out of 4.
Okay. I believe the damage dice is 7.
7? Okay. You are doing a lot of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. That is actually going to be enough to kill this thing. Describe your. It has no arms left. It has a shell for a body, an ice head, and vines for its feet left. How would you like to kill this thing?
Chances are he'll most likely just go for the hind legs and just as bite down and viciously tug at them.
You do that, and as you do that, you manage to essentially off-balance it, and as you pull on its legs for the final bite, it does end up falling on the ground, and it does end up shattering the head of the Icemon, and you do see it begin to kind of dematerialize into that kind of data in the air. Well, what did I just do? That was, I think I right-clicked something. What the hell did
you just closed the server on accident, I think.
I have it. Well, good thing, yeah. So, yes, you have successfully killed it. I will say, Ashley, you are able to collect some of the data that you do feel like that data does seem to be missing from this.
He's gonna kind of gather it up and store it in his holy ring.
Yeah, and you kind of see the, also it is up again, you kind of see the like very, very faint sparkly effects come from the body as it seems to kind of wrap around your neck in a way, as your necklace, or not your necklace, but your collar kind of glows a little bit before growing a little bit faint.
It's not a collar, it is a holy ring. God.
It's effectively a collar.
Yeah, but still.
And Kotora,
Yes.
as you make your way inside, I will get back to this in a second. As you get back to the rest of, you go back to the shack, and inside the shack, you didn't see anyone leave the shack, but you look inside, and there doesn't seem to be anyone in the shack. Give me an investigation roll, though I do know that server was closed. What is your investigation roll?
It's my investigation will be 5 dice.
While everyone else is getting back in, I'll roll that.
Yeah.
2 10s, a set. I have just only rolled like 10s for like so many.
Okay, so that's 5. What do the 10s give?
You get it. So you get I will say 5 in total because of the
Nice.
2 10s and no 1s. It's nice to say. As you do, the only thing you find is a singular, what looks to be photograph. Like it's like the photograph that you've seen before that Gary was showing you, but it's what would be universally accepted as like the photograph paper. But as you pick it up, it seems to be completely blank on both sides, as if it is as if it's an unused piece of photo.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't seem to be anyone else around.
So I guess I guess Kotra what he was whoever we saw whoever I saw that was coming in while I was heading to the shack must have left. Can I investigate to see if there's any like if there's any like footprints or any signs that there was somebody in here?
Yeah, you look around and it seems like there was something that entered the room, but anything whenever it entered the room, you could see that there doesn't seem to be any like movement of anything around the room. It basically only trails to the photo and then stops completely.
Kotora just rubs his Kotora just rubs um his chin. That is weird. I could have sworn I actually saw somebody coming here. Did they already left? Kotora is going to take Kotora is going to take this blank picture with him, but he's going to go outside of the cabin and see if there's any signs of anybody outside.
You look around, there seems to be no one outside, whatsoever. Everything seems to be just completely as still as can be. You already sent Ragiri inside to go tell the others, so even Ragiri is gone at the moment.
Kotora wonders for a moment. I definitely saw somebody come here. They couldn't possibly be stealthy enough to just disappear without a trace, unless they can turn invisible. Mm, I'm Kotra is going back inside. Kotra is going back inside of the whatchamacallit,
The
the hut.
warehouse?
Yeah, no,
The shack?
uh, yeah, the shack for a moment.
Mhm.
Just to he's going to see if he can find any like latches that go below.
As you
See,
look, the shack seems to be completely how you left it. Even the dust seems to be settled in the same place that you remember it from leaving. Everything just seems to be normal here. You look around, you pull up the bed mat as you look around the room. There doesn't seem to be any hatches. All the windows seem to be as shut as they were whenever you got here. You didn't see anyone come out of the room at all.
Kotora just rubs the back of his head as he has actually thoroughly inspected the cabin and found nobody. The only thing is this photo that wasn't here before. Okay. Should I? Well, there's no sign of them, so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna have to go back to the others and just, if Gregory hasn't told them already, just tell them what I found myself. We're gonna have to if we're gonna have to see if maybe we can find him yet. Okay, Kotora is going back to the warehouse.
Okay, and as you go back to the warehouse, you go side. I'm guessing you go into the north entrance.
Yeah.
As you go in through the north entrance, you're looking down the hallway. What kind of light sources do you have, Kotora?
None. Besides probably making, besides like making a flame with his mouth, like a static flame with his mouth, real quick.
I say that's
But-
perfectly fine. I say that's a valid use of I think that's a valid use of glow. It
Mhm.
won't light your way in the middle of too much, but I think it'll be light enough.
Mhm.
As you look around, you come into the hallway where Ragiri was going to alert everyone else, and in the hallway, you see what looks to be a body on the ground, and you recognize the coat of Ragiri as you look down the hallway, and it looks like something attacked Ragiri on the way to the other group.
Kotora the moment Kotora sees that he's hauling to see Ragiri.
Yep, and as I would say, as you look down, you see what looks to be a very, very fanciful dagger that has been struck. It's like right after how there's like the office to the left. It seems like it is right in front of where that office is, as if something must have jumped out from that office. And there is a very, very elegant looking dagger that has been placed very, very firmly in the back of Agiri. And on the end of the dagger, there is a little piece of paper that seems to just kind of be limping itself on this dagger.
Okay, the first thing that Kotora is checking is to see whether Ragiri is actually alive right now or not.
As you get closer to them, you see parts of their body seem to be very almost glitch-like, as you're not sure if it was the dagger attack or some other special attack, but you see parts of their body kind of faint, like flickering almost in and out. They look, if they are alive, they are very, very unwell. And as they, do you remove the dagger or do you just try to turn over the body with the dagger in it?
Kotora is going to try and grab the dagger, not exactly with his hand. He's going to like fold his coat and try to grab the dagger without making contact with it.
Yeah. And also, are you trying to are you trying to read the note as well?
Oh, the notes had something that said there.
Yeah, there was a note on the dagger itself that's been attached to the dagger.
Yeah, Kotora will do that.
As you kind of look at this note, kind of going up to Agiri, looking over their body, you kind of read over the note, and the note only reads with a very, very smaller but elegant print. It just says, "Stop the investigation and go back home." And it just shows a X symbol with like a skull and crossbones at the end. And as you would investigate Ragiri, he definitely seems 100% kind of dead. You look for any signs of life, he seems completely gone. And as you flip him over, you also see a clean, like, cut that also seems to go straight through his midsection. And it seems like he is just, like, it is leaking out all sorts of data. And he does not look like he is very well.
Kotora is looking at the dead Ragiri's body and just he can't believe what he's seeing with his eyes.
I would say the other group, after killing that one monster, I would say you would also hear the sounds of kind of Kotora coming inside the building, though may not be exactly recognize him, but you guys would also kind of pick up on something is going on from where you guys came from.
Stealth.
You can stealth on Kotora.
We don't know it's Kotora.
Yeah.
You can. Not sorry. Yes, you may stealth.
After the Kotora sees that, he's just sitting down and he's just like staring at Ragiri's body for a moment before.
Go ahead.
And well, he's just there for a moment.
Go ahead and give me a investigation roll.
One.
One, as you look over the body, you don't see, you kind of looking over the body, but there isn't really much to investigate, at least off the side. I think it's more of your shock is keeping you from seeing anything more in detail, as you kind of have that almost glazed over kind of look about it as you're trying to process. Jace, and you kind of feel like someone is kind of maybe looking over at you, but it's almost kind of like you're not really there all together. Arcus, you would be able to sneak and you would see what looks to be Kotora sitting next to a body of a dead Ragiri with the dagger and a note in his hands.
What? Is he okay?
Kotora just shakes his head, not saying anything.
Asher?
Asher is going over and inspecting him thoroughly.
Give me an investigation check.
Well, I was more meaning with medicine.
Oh yeah, do that. Success
I actually have
by
a
all
specialty.
accounts.
And this.
Yes, Asher, you would be able to very much recognize a dead body at this point. Whether how many you've seen up into this point, that's a question for you to answer. But you know what you look over this body enough at this point, and you kind of sense there is that glitch data coming from them. You do feel parts of them seem to be almost missing. It's very almost uncomfortable to be around a little bit, in the sense that you kind of see it's almost like parts of them have been taken, as in the thing you're looking at is not a whole piece. there is essentially strands that are missing and strands that are not complete about their body, and it just doesn't seem like their body is wholly complete. And as you're kind of investigating the body, you open up their palm, and you see in their palm, you see what looks to be the fabric of some sort of blue, very, almost icy blue fabric that seems to be in their hand that they were clutching extremely tight.
He's gonna take that, but he's also going to try and trace the data, like he did with the Mushroomon.
Yeah. As you try to kind of trace where the data go, and you kind of see their body itself almost begins to almost dematerialize a little bit from where it is laying. And like I said, it does feel that sense of almost incompleteness about it, but you do sense the data seems to almost be dissipating from where it is standing, like, or not, where it's basically laying, as in the data seems to almost just be almost just evaporating to the air a little bit. Kind of like the monster that you were facing, how the data seemed to almost almost linger a little bit before kind of slowly dissipating.
So he's not able to trace where the missing has gone.
I don't think there is any missing data.
He's just dead, and his body is just it's disintegrating.
Yeah, they flat murdered him.
No, he said that there was missing data.
Yeah, there is a little. I will say, it does seem to kind of generally flow outside the building, as you would kind of see. It seems to kind of almost flutter up into the air a bit. It's a very faint sensation. It's almost kind of like looking through a extra sense. It does seem to be kind of just heading up into the air to the west, but you're not sure if it's going to a specific like location or if it's just kind of going into the big data stream in the sky essentially. It does feel like something is missing, but you can't exactly put your paw on it.
Not even with that medicine roll.
With that medicine roll, that is how you were able to kind of check everything. It does feel like there is, like I said, that is kind of where you're getting that vibe of missing. It is very of a, like I say, it's very almost an uncomfortable kind of feeling. Like something is just not right, whether that's the glitch or that is how, or just the scene itself. Something just doesn't sit right with you about everything. But you're just not able to think about it at this exact moment.
Haboku will try and sniff around and see if he can mark anything.
Okay. As you begin to sniff around and everything, you are able to pick up the scent of the jacket itself. The jacket does seem to be Rigiri's jacket that you recognize. The backpack that he was carrying is completely gone, which would also include any of the photos that he had and any of the things he took with him. Now, his camera itself was part of his body, but all of the stuff that was in his bag, his whole entire bag just seems to be completely taken. You do follow the scent. The scent leads directly out the door, where you kind of end up seeing, kind of as you're kind of looking at the open world, you do kind of have a faint scent of the bag itself, but give me a perception check just to kind of see how well your scent is perceiving. What is that?
I
4,
believe that
I
would
think.
be 5 counting the specialty. He does have one for sight
Yep.
as well.
1, 6, 1, 10, 10. We'll say with the roll that you got, you would be able to kind of pick up. It seems to be going a little bit to the. It seems to be going to the west, back towards the town. But then, as you kind of do a double take, and you realize that that was just kind of where it was coming from. There was a fainter scent that seems to be coming to the east of the building.
East.
That is, as you look out to the east, it is essentially there is a kind of small, like very small mountain kind of area to the east. Nothing big and grand, but more like small rolling knolls. But it does seem to be going towards the east, maybe where the bag was taken. But it is a very faint scent.
Haboku will share this with the party. Assuming nobody else has followed him while he was sniffing around.
Probably not in this case. Unless everybody else did. We kind of got a body to deal with in here.
I will say the body does seem to be very rapidly dematerializing.
At least we got one less suspect. Dark jokes
They
aside.
robbed him. They took his stuff.
Well, we did think he was a target, so.
There's also this blue fabric.
Asher will hold that up.
Haboku will sniff at that as well. Is it a similar scent or is it something different that he can pin down?
The scent, you're not sure if it's just from having the hands on the fabric for so tightly, but the scent seems to be entirely Regiri from the blue fabric. You aren't able to pick up any traces of any other Digimon scent from it.
Noted. Okay.
Did anybody see anyone or anything? How'd he even get here by himself?
Kotora lets out a very loud sigh. This is my fault.
How so? What happened?
Regir, while we were investigating me and Regir were investigating the others, and I saw a glimpse of somebody going to the shack. And Regiri thought that it may have been that Gamamon cameraman, a friend of his, one of the people that were trying to investigate. Well, he wanted to go. He wanted to go alone, but he wanted to go meet him alone. But I told him that it might be better if I were to meet him. So I say to fetch you guys, and he never got to you guys.
We found some sort of like glitched creature of some sort.
Also, this letter, I get if it indeed was that if it indeed was that Gammon friend of his I saw, I am guessing that he is part of this whole thing. When I went to search the shack though, there was nothing over there. No sign of anybody coming there, but I was so sure that I saw somebody coming. I don't get it.
There anything odd?
Actually, yes. Wait, Kotora is gonna take the photo that the blank photo that he got he got from the shack out of his backpack. I found this blank photo that was this blank photo that wasn't there before.
I wonder if it's not blank and it's already been taken from.
Maybe.
Well, I think we can upgrade him from suspect to guilty party.
Definitely.
Also, I think the investigation reached a new tier too.
Oh?
Because originally it was just glitch stuff, and now it's
Murder?
Arcus. Yeah. I've normally only seen bodies in ruins, not this.
Jace blinks and realizes, oh, these are kids and they probably haven't seen as much death as he has. And just gets that, oh shit look on his face.
Asher's unfazed. He studied his medicine
You've been
in
out
the
in the
morgue.
True, and you've also been out in the wilds with him.
Kotora doesn't seem like it's not like he has not seen a dead body before, but he just looks sad staring at it.
Well, nothing can be done here for now. We need to move. The longer we wait, the further away the culprit gets, and we're going to have to track him and deal with him as quickly as possible. If he's going to be murderous, there is no reason to dilly-dally. I guess we have a death to report later, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I sent him to fetch you guys thinking that it was the safer option. I didn't think this could happen. Who even ambushed him? Because I didn't saw anybody else going to the north part of the warehouse. I could have sworn somebody was coming to the shack. When I got there, there was no sign of anybody being there other than this photo. So somebody was there, but somehow they just covered their tracks really good.
Does Haboku get anything from the blank photo? Or the knife?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you an additional check for that. The knife is heavily coated in what would be the bodily of the Rigiri. So the knife smells very, very much like him, but also probably because it was stabbed directly into them. You try to pick up any additional scents, but you don't seem to be able to pick up any additional scents on the knife or the paper, probably just due to the heavy smell of the body in front of you. But you can't make out any additional scents.
And nothing from the photo, the blank photo.
Actually, let me think. The photo itself, this photo itself actually has that faint chemical smell that you had whenever you were investigating the Rigiri's room. You'd imagine that whatever this photo was used with to essentially be used, it smells like a used photo, not a brand new one. As in, this isn't a brand new photo that has never been processed before. It's not like you just bought a new sheet of paper. It smells like it's been used and has been processed, but there's no image on it.
And it's completely made different from the photo with the Mushmon.
The photo with the Mushroom also has, if you were to compare, as you kind of look, it actually has the similar smell to it. With the chemicals that were used to process the photo, it actually is a similar smell to each one of them.
I was more or less talking visually, but good to know.
Visually, they both look like they've both been processed. Or developed, I should say.
Haboku will tap up the blank photo. This This photo isn't new. It's old. Old. Do people just take blank pictures for no reason?
No. I am guessing that perhaps maybe this is one of those photos. Maybe this could be one of those photos that they use to steal other people's data.
Nothing's on it though.
Maybe it's meant to be used for that.
Or maybe whatever it was already peeled up.
That too.
You know, I have a thought.
Yes.
It may sound crazy, but it would explain Kotora seeing the guy and then not finding him in the shack.
Oh?
What if this was a photo of somewhere and the guy somehow teleported using it?
Wait, no, that actually makes sense. After all, if we are under the assumption that they're somehow remotely stealing some other Digimon's data with these photos or something. If they are a way to transfer data, it could also be a way to transfer their own data. Perhaps it could have been used as a way to teleport.
Well, that would make things kind of above our pay grade.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure how we'd track down somebody that's teleporting all over the place.
We could only really do it if it was something that they couldn't really do all the time. But we can't really be sure of that. They could have tons of these things prepared.
And probably a lot more, considering they robbed him.
I'm so sorry, Ragiri. I didn't think this would happen.
Haboku will walk over to Kotora and just to nuzzle him and gently.
Kotora is going to lean into the nozzles. He looks very sad.
Well, what do we do now? Do we go back to the city and try to report in?
The thief's scent was very faint. I think we should follow it.
Do you think you can get it?
They have a very scent, and I think I can follow it before it gets, so long as it isn't too long. They went to the east. What direction is east again?
It would be opposite. It would be further away from town. Oh, yeah.
No, that was just that was an in-character question.
The opposite of west. All right. Hey, Asher, how are your tracking skills?
Not that great, but I can attempt it. Haboku's probably better.
I can try and help.
You can give me a sniff perception check, Asher, and see what comes up.
Well, Asher doesn't have a specialty for that, but sure.
It's more of just how you're using the senses, more so.
2.
Okay. As you do kind of sniff around, you do actually pick up something else. It does seem to be that scent as Haboku pours out that other photograph and kind of has them both together, you do kind of recognize that scent, especially since you had your nose in it back at the inn. You do pick up a third smell of that almost that chemical kind of smell as you kind of look around a little bit, and it seems to actually be coming from the break room. And as you're kind of following this just a little bit, you would find underneath one of the inside of one of the cabinets that seemed to have been broken, like one of the doors have been torn off. You find a blank photograph or a blank, kind of one of those blank photo sheets similar to what Haboku had, or not, but similar to what Kotora had.
Oh, so they did do that?
What if these just haven't been developed yet?
Haboku
if
will point
they-
out the one he had was already developed. Helped. This one was as developed though. No, it smelled like it.
Well, we know where he's been. Hiroboku, I'm gonna try and help you track this guy, I guess. If we're in agreement, that's what we're doing, right? We're gonna try and track this guy.
Kotora nods. Unless anybody has any objections.
Hey guys, also, where's Riv?
With staring intently.
Hey,
What
Taldarius.
you doing, Tal? You're usually the one investigating stuff. What's Riv up to? What's Riv's thought process? Tal might have stepped away for a moment.
I assume when Riv went to go collect his headlight thing, headlamp.
Yeah, I'll say he went to go because he did leave his headlamp up by that drawer up there. I'll say he's up there retrieving at the moment.
So that's 3 in favor of pursuing the thief/killer, or rest of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can contribute to survival, I guess, in an attempt to track.
I can contribute to teamwork.
By all means.
So have 2 extra dice for me. There, Puppy Doggo.
Haboku uses investigation for that, but I think he does have survival. It'd still be a +1 on overall, I believe, because even without the specialty. That would put it at a 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah, I could only contribute 1 investigation if we were to do that.
Actually, just
it'd be 5 regardless.
Jace, I'll let you roll this. You roll me 5 just so it's out in the open for everyone.
5 or 6.
I think
'Cause I heard
Haboku was
6.
saying. I think you were saying Haboku was saying 5. Is it? Oh, it's 5. It's 5 without your help, so I think 6 with your help.
Is that
Well,
including teamwork?
Actually, including Arcus teamwork, it would be 6, but 5. I've with if Jace's help, if he went survival.
Okay.
Oh.
Those ones are just popping off today.
You got 2 1s. You're currently sitting at a net 0.
I have soul, I believe. If
Just 1?
The new thing has been set in place, right?
Yes.
Okay, I guess both of them can go towards soul then.
That upgraded you to a 3.
Okay. I'll say I'll get back with Tal here in a second to have his opinion on everything. I will say, as you guys are all discussing everything, you would see more and more eventually after a few minutes have passed. You would see that the spot where Ragiri is essentially nothing more than just his coat there. His coat still remains as it was not part of him, but the data that was associated with him is completely gone. The coat does still remain, if anyone would like to take that coat.
Kotora is gonna take that coat.
Did we want to pause then until Taldarius gets back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say generally what happens next. We're also at kind of like a good stopping point. So I'll let Tal describe what's happening, but I'll also just say what you kind of figured out from that. I would say that you are going to be able to at least be able to, since it is still a very fresh scent, and that heavy bag that Ragiri did have a lot of things of Ragiri in it. I would say that you guys are going to at least be able to successfully start your way to see and trace where that is. Let me PM Tal. Because I know you guys were also saying that everyone was quiet for a bit, and then you realized you had to reconnect.
No, we had to just change the server. And he was talking after that.
My cat is meowing at me.
If it was that, everybody would be affected by it. Most likely, he just fell asleep.
That is also a likely possibility. We can always do just a little bit of a recon whenever we see him next. We're also kind of at the end here. So just because it would be an entirely new scene for you guys to go investigating where everything went, I'll only say one thing. As you guys go and once you as you would be tracing that up these kind of knolls, you would discover a hole in the wall. And when I say hole in the wall, I mean there is some like leaves and stuff that seems to be covering the entrance to a very deep, dark, what you can tell deep, dark cave into this mountainside. So you may get your cave after all.
The
You
one
can always
person
just go back to town. I tease Tal with a deep, dark, unexplored cave. As he falls asleep.
No, clearly he's already gone down the cave.
He just he knew he had cave sense, and he just knew there was a cave nearby. He's like, I gotta go. My people need me.
I just imagine Riv vibrating, and then you just hear, and he's in the cave.
We'll go ahead. We'll call it here in a second. I'll let Asher or let Zim kind of get everything for the ending ready to go.
It's already
But I
ready.
will say, yep. Then I'll say, yeah. We'll call it here. I'll leave a cliffhanger of whether you guys want to follow this scent into a deep dark cave or go back and report it in town. It'll be a pretty obvious answer, I'm sure, but we'll see what everyone chooses next time. The tensions are rising, though, and murder has now occurred.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today for Data Anomaly Hunter's Scar. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They're on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going, though I cannot do this without you guys. You are amazing. You keep this channel alive. I really appreciate all of you so much. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, picking up art from one of the artists that I manage for, grabbing some merch over at zgfgaming.store, or subscribing to us over on YouTube. But for now, thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye.
Later, Mark.
Bye.
Bye. Bow bow.